Hello everyone, welcome to Study IQ. So in this video we will continue with our problem solving discussion. So we started off with previous year questions, right? So we completed arithmetic, that area completely. So we started off with previous year questions, and we have completed percentages and fractions. Okay, I've discussed two sets for that. So now let me discuss ratio, proportion, variation. Okay, so if you remember, I have taken 3 sessions for ratio, proportion, variation. So we have discussed about important properties of ratio. That was our set 1. Okay, then we have discussed about mathematical uses of ratio. That was our set 2. Then in the third set we have discussed about proportion and variation, and we have discussed about various properties and rules related to that. So if you haven't watched that video, because most of the things will be repetition here, okay, so you go back to that and you watch the video, because I'm not going to explain the concept here. I'll just take up the question and we'll solve it. Okay, now if you observe those classes, I was discussing the concepts completely, and here then itself I told you these are the formulas and these are the concepts, but when it comes to the questions, I'll teach you how not to use those formulas, right? So that's what we are going to do here. I am not interested in using it in a conventional or solving it in a conventional way, so we will use alternate approaches. Okay, so if you want, let me start off with a very complicated question. So you might have seen different methods, because this was an actual CAT question, so obviously different people might have solved it in a different way. So let's solve this question, okay, and we'll come back and you'll understand the reason for this particular discussion. Okay, take a minute and solve this question. This was 2007 question. Okay, how will you solve? See, I hope you might have understood the story. It's a lengthy question. Since this is slightly lengthy, you may keep it for round 2, and that's your choice. Okay, but still this is a round 1 question if it comes to CAT. Okay, if you are solving in the way that I am going to discuss. Otherwise, if you get this kinds of question in some other exams like SSC or IBPS, this is definitely going to be a round 2. Not because you will get the answer for sure. Okay, but you know that reading will take some time, because 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 lines is there. Okay, and then again if you see a lot of information, and that's make this question complicated. Otherwise, very easy question. So let's see how you're going to solve it. If you solve it in a conventional way, again that will be difficult, it will take time. So let's see what is the information. 10 years ago, okay, so before 10 years, let me show it somewhere here. Minus 10 years, okay, so from here minus 10 years information is given. So the ages of the members of a joint family of 8 people were 231. Okay, so 231 was the age for 8 people together. Okay, 3 years later, okay, that means from now how many years? It's like minus 7 years. Okay, so 3 years later from this particular time. Okay, I'm standing in this year, let's suppose 2018, this particular day. First I'm giving information 10 years back. This is the situation. Then after that 3 years, okay, that means 7 years back is what I'm referring to. So one member died at the age of 60. Okay, so one is gone and at the age of 60, and a child was born. So if you look at this, effectively the total number of people are same, 8, but one person died with age 60, so definitely the average will reduce, and new person added. Although the number remains the same, but average will reduce, because the newborn person, no age, but the person died is 60, so he will make an impact on the average. Okay, now, okay, that's what one information. After that, after another 3 years, one more member died, right? Okay, that means minus 4 year. One more member died, again at 60. Okay, again at 60, so you can see some pattern over here, and a child was born during the same year. Still, if you observe, the number of members remain the same. Here 8, here 8, here 8. What is the change? There is an age difference of, see, the person died is of 60 age, here also 60 age. So that 60 will make some impact. Now let's see the question. What is the question? The current average age of 8-member joint family. Current average age. So question is about average age. So let me start off with 10 years back. So 10 years back, what is the average age? It's very simple, 231 by 8. Right? So what you get is 29. No problem in that. Okay. So average age 10 years back was 29. Now after 3 years, what would have happened? See, in the normal scenario, if 8 people were there, nobody is dying, nobody is born. Okay, then what would have happened after 3 years? The average age will definitely increase by 3 because every person's age will increase by 3. So it would have been 32. It would have been 32. But what happened? The person who's having an age of 60 died. Okay, and a newborn is there. So this 60 is going to make an impact. Because of that 60, the average age will definitely come down. So how much less? 32 minus what impact that 60 would have made? 60 divided by 8, because that 60 you should divide into 8. Why 8? Why not 7? Because new member added, so it should be 8. Okay, so 32 minus 32 would have been the average age. Now the 60 aged person died, so 60 you need to divide among 8. This concept I have discussed when we discussed about average allocation weighted average discussion. So 32 minus 60 by 8, so what is the average? 24.5. So if the question is about 7 years before, what is the average? 24.5. But again, the same situation happened, right? After 3 years. See, now 24.5. So after 3 years, what would have happened? It would have been 27.5. 3 increase will be there. Even the newborn will become 3 years of age. So everybody's age is increasing by 3. So average would have been 27.5. But what happened? Again, a person with 60 died. Okay, so exactly the same thing is what you need to do. 60 divided by 8. Why dividing by 8? Because even though that person has died, a new member is added to the family. Okay, so 60 is what making the difference. New member is not going to make any difference, right? He just born. So 60 divided by 8. So what you get is 20. Okay, so 20. So 4 years before, the average age was 20. What is asked? Current average age. So 4 years before 20. Now 4 years after this, what would have happened? It would have been 24. Nobody is dying, nobody is born, no other story is given, right? So what is my answer? Answer is E for England. So very tricky question. I don't know which method. See, we have many methods. Even we have also discussed a similar type of question pattern in the previous videos. But if you're solving in that way, that's going to take a lot of time. Just take the situation. What is given? 10 years back, 231 for 8 people. So we got the average 29. So after 3 years, logically what will happen? 32 will be there. Okay, but what happened is person with age 60 died, so definitely there will be a decrease in average. Okay, from the group, the 60 aged person has gone. So what difference he will make? 60 by 8. That 60 you should divide into 8 people. So it became 24.5. That person made a difference of 7.5. Okay, again after 3 years it would have been 27.5, but again at the age of 61 person died and a newborn. So that person also making a difference 7.5. So the average age of the joint family before 4 years was 20. That's what we understood. So before 10 years we started, we understood the case of before 7 years, before 4 years also we understood. Now presently what would have happened? 20 plus 4, 24. So if you solve in this way, this question is simple. Otherwise, now it's up to you. Okay, you might have seen a lot of other methods also. Okay, or the other way in which you will think of this is actually the total is given as 231, right? Now, so this is 10 years back. Okay, minus 10 years. Now, if you see 7 years back, how will you see that? It can be 231 plus 3 into 8, right? Minus 60 plus 0. Okay, so I hope you understood this. 231, you need to add 3 years. Okay, for 8 people, so 24. But this person has died and newborn is added. So what is the age? 195. Okay, so 10 year it was 231. After 3 year, that means this is a case because you need to add 3 year for 8 people, but subtract 60, add 0. There is no point in adding 0. Now that is after 7 year. What about minus 4 year? Means after 3 year, the same process you will repeat. To 195 you need to add 3, right? So 195 plus 3 into 8, same process. Then minus 60 plus 0. So what you'll get? 159. So this is the total age before 4 year. Now, what is the total age now? If you see 159 plus the same process 3 into not 3 in these two cases it was 3 year after 3 year after 3 year, but here it is 4 year, right? So 4 into 8. Okay, so that is 159 plus 32. So this is the age presently, the total age of the family currently is 159 plus 32. What we need? We need to find the average. So divide by 8, you will get 24. Okay, so two methods, these two methods are fine, but if you are going with any other thing, it will be difficult. Okay, so in this case, what I am doing is 10 year back, it is given 231. Okay, 7 year back is what I am finding. That means after 3 year, from this after 3 year. After 3 year means 8 people will get 3 years each, so that's why I have added this 24. Then this person has died, so I subtracted. Newborn, so 0, so no impact. So total age after before 7 years is 195. Before 4 years, adding 3 more again, right? So 24 I added here is exactly the same thing as what happening here, and this person died exactly the same thing. So the total become 159. Now from here after 4 years, what is going to happen? What is the total age? So 159 plus 4 into 8. Every person is achieving 4 years, right? Even the newborn is also becoming 4 years of age. So 4 into 8, 32. Now to find the average, divide by 8, I get 24. So both method is fine. So I am more interested in this approach. Okay, but the only thing is you need to calculate average age in all these cases. So if you don't want to calculate this, if you are good in calculation, this is the best method. Or even here also you need to calculate, but slightly less calculation. Both are same, but this method will be useful for most of the question, because this is very flexible approach. Okay, so if you get questions like this, which I cannot classify as ratio or proportion or anything, although if you want to classify, this will come under ratio proportion, but otherwise these questions are miscellaneous questions. Okay, so a flexible approach is what you need, like this. I hope this is clear for all of you. Take a minute and solve this question, 99 question. Okay. Okay, how will you solve this? The average mark of a student in 10 papers are 80. Okay, so 10 papers are 80. So from here you'll get the total mark. Okay, that is 800. Okay, now if the highest and the lowest scores are not considered, then the average is 81. Okay, so highest and lowest is not considered, the average is 81. And if the highest score is 92, find the lowest. So the moment you see this, the highest and lowest is not considered means 2 scores are not considered and you are getting 81. So instead of 10 paper, you are actually considering 8 paper, excluding the highest and lowest. Okay, so for 8 paper he is getting 81, and that 8 paper does not include the lowest and the highest. That's the only thing. Okay, so that 8 paper, what is the total? Excluding the highest and lowest, what is the total mark? You will get it as 81 into 8. Okay, so 8 into 8, 640 and 648. So you got 648 here and you got 800. If 10 paper are there, 800. In that 800, highest and lowest is there. 648, highest and lowest excluding. So what is this difference between these two? That is 152. Okay, 800 minus 648, that is 152. So this 152 is what? The sum of highest and lowest. And out of this, you know the highest is 92. Okay, so once you know highest is 92, what will be the lowest? 62. Very easy question, the easiest you can ever get and the easiest I'll ever discuss also. Okay, so what you did is very simple. The moment you see 10 papers, 80 is the average, you got that total mark he scored is 800. If his lowest and highest is not considered, that means excluding lowest and highest, his average is 81, means excluding lowest and highest, he is scoring 648. So what is the sum of lowest and highest? That is 152. Out of that, highest is given as 92. So 60. 152 minus what? 92. I thought it was 90. Okay, sorry. So this is 60. So your answer is B. Okay, answer is B, not this. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Take a minute and solve this question. 2001 question. Okay, it's slightly a moderate question. So consecutive positive integers beginning with 1 is written on the blackboard. So the moment you see this, you understood that this is a sigma n question, sum of first 10 natural numbers. Go back to the video where I have discussed about sum of natural numbers and all the properties that I have discussed, right? So sigma n we have discussed, sigma n square we have discussed, sigma n cube we have discussed, all those things we have discussed. So applying that, you will get the answer. What they're saying is, after that a student came along and erased one number. Okay, and the average of the remaining number is 35 and 7 by 17. So average is given, not the sum. Okay, so obviously we don't know the total number. We need to assume that it is n. What is the number erased? Slightly difficult question. Okay, so here what is sigma n? N into n plus 1 divided by 2. So what the first person did is he has written some numbers. So if you have taken the sum, you would have got this n into n plus 1 by 2. We don't know number. Okay, total numbers, it is not given, right? So but then what happened? One person came and erased one number. Let's take it as x. Okay, so that number was erased. Okay, so and that's what you need to find out. So basically you need to find out x. So what is the average? Then now divide by total number. Let me take it as n itself. Or once this is deleted, see before this, what is the average in the first case? N, sum divided by numbers. But what is the average in the second case, which is given? One number is missing, right? That number I am taking as x. Okay, so n become n minus 1. Okay, this remains the same. This is total sum minus that number, but total number of numbers is n minus 1. Now solving this is given as 35 and 7 by 17. So if you write this properly, you will get 602 by 17. So just multiply and add the remainder, which is 7. Okay, so n into n plus 1 by 2, that is sigma n, minus the number which is deleted, divided by the number which is existing, that is n minus 1, and that's the average, and that is given as 602 by 17. When you solve it, you will get the answer as 7. Or if you want to know how you solve it, see this n minus 1, this n minus 1 must be a multiple of 17. That's a logic. Okay, so this n minus 1 must be a multiple of 17. So for n minus 1, let's take it as 68. So what is n? N is equal to 69. Okay, so I'm just taking the multiple. So if n minus 1 is a multiple of 17, so if it was 68, what would be n? 69. Okay, now let me see this. Let me substitute that 69 here. So n into n plus 1, 69 into 70, divide by 2, minus x divided by 68 is equal to 602 by 17. Okay, now if you solve this, x will be 602 into 68, this will go here, minus 69 into 35, this is getting cancelled out, right? So you will write it as 2415 minus 2408, which is equal to 7. So you got n is equal to 7, you got x is equal to 7, right? And in our assumption, x is the missing number, so the number erased is actually 7. So how many total numbers were there? That is 69. So if the question was how many total numbers, that is 69. Which number erased? That is 7. So n is equal to 69, x is equal to 7 in this case. Slightly difficult question, but this is the way you need to solve this. This is an application of sigma n. In fact, I should have discussed this question in sigma n. Okay, n into n plus 1 by 2, that is sum of numbers. Okay, if I need to find the average, n into n plus 1 by 2 divided by n, that means n into n plus 1 by 2 divided by 2n, that means n plus 1 by 2, that's average. Why n plus 1 by 2? I have already discussed when we discussed about AP. Okay, now here you are erasing one number, so that's why I am subtracting from the sum, divided by total number of numbers become n minus 1. Okay, so n minus 1, from here we understood that it's a multiple of 17, so we are taking it as 68, so n becomes 69. Then it is satisfying the condition, so we get n as 7. Okay, so we get x as 7 and n as 69. So once you substitute, you get this as 69 or 602 by 17, which is actually given in the question, and this is the only way in which you will solve this question. Okay, take a minute and solve this question, 1991 question. Okay, so it's a data sufficiency question, so we have discussed enough number of times about this. You need to be very careful about the options which is given. So the first option, if you see, the question can be answered with the help of statement 1 alone. The question can be answered with the help of statement 2 alone, or both the statement 1 and 2 are needed. Now the question cannot be answered even with the help of two statements. So this is slightly easy data sufficiency question. How it will be difficult if there was an option like the question can be answered by either of the statement alone. Okay, then they can also give you statements like the question can be answered by using statement 1, not by 2, by 2 and not by 1. Like this they will make it confused. Okay, but here if you see, this is very easy question. So here, now let's look at the question. I hope you understood the option. So what is asked is the average of 3 unequal quotations for a particular share is 110. Okay, if all are quoted in integral value, this is important, of rupees, does the highest quotation exceed 129? So average of 3 unequal quotations is given 110. Okay, so all are quoted integral values. Okay, does the highest quotation is greater than 129? Okay, now what we need to do is let's look at the first statement alone and we'll see whether it can answer the question. The lowest quotation is 100. Okay, so here we know the lowest quotation is 100. So can you answer the highest quotation? It is crystal clear that you can answer. There is no need to answer the question. See, why you can answer is because the 3 quotations average is given 110. So we can get the total. Okay, so we will get the total, and out of that the lowest is given 100. So total minus 100, you will get the other 2. Okay, and out of the other 2, the minimum can be 101 because 100 is the lowest. So the maximum will be balance, right? So definitely you will be able to say this answer. Does the highest quotation exceed 129? Whether it exceed or not, you can tell with the first statement itself. But you don't want to see what is that value. That's the point. No, don't even try to find that answer. Now, if you need to find the answer, it will be like this. We know the average is 110, so the total will be 330 because 3 is there, so total is 330. Out of this, the lowest is 100. So 100 is gone. What is the balance? 230. Okay, now in this 230 it's for 2 people. The total of 2 people is 230. In this the minimum can be 101. Why? Because the lowest is already given as 100. So the next minimum can be 101. So the highest quotation can be 229. The maximum it will go 229. So does the highest quotation exceed 129? Answer is yes, and the highest quotation is 229. But we don't even want to know, we don't even want to answer yes also. Forget about this particular value. You don't even want to answer yes. You just need to know I can answer with the statement itself. That's enough. Okay. Now, once you understood that statement 1 alone is enough, you can mark A as the answer. But there are questions where either of statement 1 and 2 will help you to answer the question. Then you would have checked for B also. Okay. Here you don't want to check for B. Now, even if you check for second statement, that is not going to help you because one of the quotation is 115. Can you answer? See, we know the total is 330 and out of this 1 is 115. Balance is 215. Now, this 215 can be anything. See, in this case, don't consider the first statement now. Okay, you can't take that statement. Okay, if you take that statement, okay, then 1 is 100. Then obviously you will get other as 115. So, no is your answer. But you can't take the statement when you consider 2 alone. Okay, so statement 1 alone will help you to answer the question. So, A for Ahmedabad is your answer. Okay, again another data sufficiency question with the same options. There is no point in wasting time by explaining the options. Same options only, A, B, C, D. So take a minute and solve this question. Okay, let's check for the first statement. See, if the numbers are A, B, C, D, okay, such that A less than B less than C less than D, then from the first statement we can understand that B minus C is greater than B minus A. Okay, so this is from the first statement, the difference between the largest and the second largest number. Okay, so what is the largest number? This is the largest number, this is the second largest number, is greater than, so that's why I'm putting greater than the difference between the second smallest and the smallest, that is B and A, because this is the way it is going, right? So what we can say now, we can say D plus A is greater than B plus C, or D plus A plus D plus A is greater than B plus C, okay, plus D plus A. what I did is, see, d plus a greater than b plus c, so I am just adding a d plus a here. Here also there is no change. What change I made? I did not made any change. I put a d plus a here. Here also I put a d plus a. Okay, now what you need to do is divide both sides by 4, here by 4, here by 4. So on the left side you will get 2 times d plus a divided by 4. So 2 and 4 is getting cancelled out. So d plus a divided by 2 greater than a plus b plus c plus d divided by 4. Now I hope you might have understood why I added a plus d. Here I'll get a plus b plus c plus d. And that is in fact the average of 4 numbers. Here what I am getting, average of highest and the smallest. As per our assumption, it is going like this, right? So from this you understood that average of highest and smallest is greater than average of 4 numbers. So you can answer the question by using the first statement alone. What was the question? The average of the largest and the smallest of 4 numbers is greater than the average of the 4 numbers, right? Now, what is the clue given? The difference between the largest and the second largest is greater than, this is greater than the difference between the second smallest and the smallest, this. Okay, so what we did is, when we rearrange, you will get like this. Why I did this is basically because I want to get this side, the largest and the smallest, because the average of that is what I need. And on the other side, I made an arrangement so that I'll get all the 4. So in the end, I got the average of largest and smallest in the left hand side and average of all 4 members on the right hand side. At the same time, I understood that largest and smallest average is greater than the average of all the 4 members, all the 4 numbers. But see, I don't want to do all these things. I don't want to say that yes, this is greater, or I don't want to say this is lesser. In my option, whether it is greater or whether it is lesser, nothing is there. In my option, what they're asking is whether you can answer or not. If you have enough logic, you can directly write that I can answer with this. Nobody is asking you whether this is average of largest and the smallest is greater than all the 4. If that is asked, you need to find all this, but not asking whether. The question is whether you can find it by using this. Yes, I can find it. Then your answer for this question is A. That's enough, and that's the beauty of data sufficiency. If your concepts are clear, you don't want to do anything to get the answer, because you don't want to find the answer here. You just need to tell them that yes, I can answer. Getting the statement, can you answer or not? Yes, I can answer. End of it. I hope this is clear for you. So